Could you maybe just explain what led you to leave uni and why you chose SMMA?
Yeah, for sure. So, well, I remember I was watching like Tate videos. That's actually how I originally got into it. And I was watching Tate videos online, and I pretty much was like, fuck, if I don't make something work, I'm going into the rat race, the matrix of 9 to 5. Yeah, NPC. I don't think I would ever even allow myself to get into that position, but it was still like, it was a wake-up call. Tate really kind of put it into my mind of like, you need to do something because everything's your fault. So that was about summer of 2022. And on about September 1st, I started the agency. But I remember sitting down at the dinner table, and I told my parents, I'm like, guys, I'm dropping out. And they're like, no, you're not. Like, you're not dropping out. And I just started getting pissed off because I was like, no, I need to drop. Like, I'm not working 9 to 5, like, ever. And and I kept on convincing them over the days. And I remember going on this car ride with my dad up to like a 2-hour city away. And I was just like bawling my eyes out, just like, I'm not fucking working 9 to 5. And I was telling him the whole business model, and he kept on getting more convinced. And eventually, about a week later, I I had a sublease to my apartment because had everything fully booked out, flights booked, and I canceled everything. And then joined a course and also got a mentor in SMA. And then I just kind of took it off from there. So.
For sure. And just for context, you were able to achieve success in, I would say in some senses, like an untold short amount of time. Like I've not really heard many people at all be able to accelerate their growth as quick as you did. And just for context, I believe you went from 0 to about 50K per month profit within your first 12 months of dropping out of uni, right?
Yeah.
And that was all due to your social media marketing agency. So how did you get the ball rolling with that? Like, what was the initial starting point? You said you joined a course, you got a mentor, but this was something completely new that you had no prior experience in.
Yeah, I had no sales experience, no idea what I was doing. I just had a lot of self-confidence and a lot of self-belief. That's kind of the only thing I really had, to be honest, because I didn't have any skills or experience or knowledge, really. And the only thing I had was just a massive ego, but nothing like backing it up with. So that's kind of how I kind of pulled off at the start. But the way I really scaled fast was because of the mentor and also traveling and also networking. That's probably the top 3 things I always talk about, is just having a mentor, network, and traveling. Because first of all, having a mentor, you pretty much just speed up your entire process. Like I went from 0 to 30K a month in the first 5 months of doing it. Pretty much all profit as well. So that was like very, very fast. But the only reason I did that because of the mentor, because he pretty much told me, and I skipped all the mistakes that I would have made just by him telling me all the mistakes that he did. So that's that. And also just traveling around, networking, just meeting new people to tell you certain new things as well. It's all just kind of like based off, your scaling ability is literally just based off your inputs and the way that you make the inputs work, like obviously based off knowledge and stuff like that. Because if you're going to do a bunch of inputs based off like a saturated outreach method, it's just not going to work. But if you learn from a network or mentor the right one, then you could obviously pull it off. So yeah,
for sure. So I wanted to touch on a couple of things there. Ego and scaling. We'll start with ego, because I know you said this in another video and you just kind of mentioned it then, where when the time is right, you believe that you actually need to have an ego. So like you just said, you had, not to say you had no skills, but you had no sales experience. You'd never run an agency before. And yet you had an ego that, in a good way, that allowed you to have the confidence that you needed to go all in and actually develop the skills that you needed. So sometimes I think maybe it's just that initial piece of confidence that people are otherwise missing. And I think a lot of your initial success was maybe due to cold calling. Did you say? I think you're doing a lot of cold calling, DMing and things like that, which in itself is kind of difficult to do.
I know,
If you've never done it before, handle that level of like initial rejection or trying to talk to people that don't want to talk to you, it can't have been easy. So I guess I would start there. Like, what was that initial process like? Because it was cold calling. I think you had other outreach methods as well. But that kind of sheer relentlessness and what model were you following to get to where you needed to be?
Yeah, for sure. So, and also about the ego thing, like, it's not an ego thing as where, I'm not going to listen to people because I'm, all this crazy stuff. It was more about like, I have so much self-confidence, self-belief in myself, and I'm already thinking that I'm at 10K a month even when I was at 0. Like in my mind, I literally told myself that I was already making 10K a month. And then my self-image just really escalated from there. And I started matching the actions and the habits and beliefs and the thoughts of someone who's already making 10K a month. Therefore, pretty much teleported there. Like, it's not actually teleported, but you guys know, like, it's about the process a lot. So that helped me a ton. But at least like getting into the cold calling stuff, like I remember the first day I was so nervous to cold call. And also on sales calls, I was literally hoping the prospects would no-show to the sales call because I didn't want to take the sales call because I was so nervous. And because I just didn't know what I was doing. And I remember my mentor, he would actually get on the first few sales calls with me to like kind of walk it through. And one time, last minute, he wasn't available. And I was like shitting my pants. Just like, I was like sweating and just like, fuck, like, what am I going to do? And then you just go over it and you do it. And you get better and better and better. And then you start closing clients. And then it's kind of from there. But I think people have to reframe cold calling, because for me personally, I don't like to do the whole go through pain and all this David Goggins stuff. It's good at certain points, but long-term solution, your subconscious will always beat willpower. So what you have to do is kind of incentivize yourself more and align the actions and your goals more with pleasure and not with pain, because the subconscious is always moving towards pleasure and moving away from pain. So the more you could align yourself and incentivize yourself, for example, with cold calling, I'm going to learn so many sales skills. I'm going to learn negotiation. I'm going to make $40 per dial, technically, according to the math. I reverse calculate it. And I'm going to, whatever, just make a lot of money, learn sales, go over pain, just learn all these skills. And that kind of incentivize yourself more helps you do a lot more long-term play and more consistent with it. Because if you just hate cold calling and in your mind, every single time you think about it, you're like, oh, like I just don't like doing it. You're not going to want to do it long-term. So you have to kind of reframe and kind of switch the whole paradigm around it, especially with goals as well. If you guys think that, oh, once you hit 10K a month, you don't know what you're gonna do. You're gonna have a lot of pain in your life. You're gonna be hectic. You don't know what you're gonna do with service delivery. Like, your subconscious isn't want to go to that area because it's always trying to avoid pain and move towards pleasure. So what you have to do is kind of rephrase it and actually have more pain, kind of rephrase it in your mind and have more pain in your current state and more pleasure attached with your growth state. This is actually what happened to me when I was 100K months and I'm trying to scale to $250,000 per month. And I was kind of stagnant between 50K and 100K a month for a while, because I actually had so much pain attached with hitting $250,000 a month. I thought in my mind, oh, my service delivery is going to be messed up. I'm going to have no time to travel, no time to talk to guys. I'm going to have really fucked back end, like all this stuff. But even though I consciously wanted to go there, no matter what, my subconscious would always prevent me from getting there. It was kind of like a battle in between conscious and subconscious. So what I had to do is literally just swap that and have more pain with my current state and more pleasure with my growth state of $250,000 a month. Change the beliefs, swap them out, and now we're getting there. So that's kind of how you have to do it.